June!
Feel like I'm dumb, as soon as it pop, I'm gonna retire. He say I'm hard and he say I'm
Wrong again! How many more centuries will it take to find the right notes?
Get the plug on the phone.
Megalopolis. I'm in Megalopolis City. Here.
Shoot first and ask questions later, didn't I?
Antares.
Mind if I help?
Come on, you fuckers think that just because a guy reads comics he can't start some shit? I'll fucking take all you.
But if you think I'm like making this up or imagining this, I'm at war. They're at war with me behind the scenes. There's people like, they don't even talk about you. That all they do is talk about me. Trust me. Trust me. All they do is talk about me. You want to know why like everybody is so quiet like on these live streams and they're nervous? They're trying not to say the wrong thing.
Continuous.
So you're talking about like a condom,
mints.
and
I
instead
think
of
condom
lube being in
mints.
there, there's barbecue.
Condiment condoms. Condiment condoms.
No.
Somebody must have thought of that already.
Like Dr.Ben says, they're
So they have
not
different
condoms.
fixins.
All the fixins,
All
dude, and
the
that's one of the reasons
fixins.
why I love Roy Rogers is all the fixins.
Like millions.
You think they could have
Millions.
a cousin fucking convention?
Millions of people right now are born of incest.
What?
Nexus Video says that's hot.
It can be.
Dr.Ben says not enough.
When your hot cousin gets stuck in the dryer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In 1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable build-ups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind."
Thank you, Dr. Ben. Beautiful at any weight, and he's a doctor.
Thanks a lot. And hello, Dr. Ben, and I'll shut up now. Thanks a lot, guys. Wonderful.
No, sir, I don't think I have any use for rubber.
Alpha core number 1.
But I'll tell you what, though. Do you have any rubber
Chuck Dixon
protectors?
Call the police.
You could not come back around me, you turned your back on me, I cannot forget. The police was lying, they said that they caught you, but nigga, they made you admit. Your name was fine, you put in that work, they took your stick, you a bitch. Fuck my odds, they be on my dick, they all be mad, we rich. Turn up.
Under 25, living like a boss, lying around with a chauffeur. I don't sell drugs, still be paranoid, keep looking over my shoulder. Niggas lying like I'm stealing swag, but it's my shit like I wrote it.
These rappers really nice as hell. I'm a different nigga when I'm pissed off. Many say he gon' press up on who? I'ma get to steal like I'm Chris Paul. Back-to-back Suburbans, I'm a big dog. I was in the slum serving fentanyl. Zombie land junkies having withdrawals. I've been getting to a lot of missed calls. Turn it off, what the fuck is he talking about? I should slap you for saying he hot as me. I don't know who could fuck with me, honestly. They know I'm the man, so they watching me. Different color bands like Monopoly. Man, he must not be using his hair. If he thinking I don't keep a Glock with me.
I'm getting a flashback to all these Stephen J. Canal movie TV shows. Riptide! Thank you, Dr.Ben.
Yeah! This art is just so freaking crazy and just like so, like this is the epitome of like underground comics to me. I think I love it. I think it is so cool. I don't know, just the certain things like when she's walking away and she just has this big ass with
look at that big ass, look at that big juicy booty, this Latina
with her twisted deformed arm looking over her shoulder. I love it so much. It's almost Ted McKeever-ish in a way. I don't know, it's like Beavis and Butthead on meth. How do you like that? I don't know, but it's so cool. Like there's just something very compelling and just, I love his stuff. I'm a fan. Great storyteller, just totally, as I've said before, the epitome of like underground indie comics. Right there, Dr.Ben Anthony. Such great, you know, color choices and just, I don't know, I'm with it. Inimitable, I love it. I love the color scheme you chose here, and this looks so good. Good job, Dr.Ben.
Love it.
For you 90s stoners out there.
This just felt... Yeah, this stuff I really like too. I love underground stuff, and this side of the book had tried to bring a lot of that feel into it, and I really appreciate it.
Wow. Yeah, that's Dr. Ben again, man. He had been away from comics for a long time, and now he's back. He's got these crazy colors.
Yes, I like.
Really great work. And some of it's like meta too, you know, it's got talking about Brubaker, Sean Phillips. This is like, he is in this. He's the guy with the chops and the bald head there in the top right. So like, you know,
that's the Broob.
Yeah. His hat. Yeah. Does Broob know about this? He would love this.
I don't know.
You can get $500 for the original art if that's on Bristol board out of Brubaker.
Dr. Ben is just yelling, "You're wrong," in caps. All right, but here's my larger point.
Yes. I gotta give Dr. Ben some props real quick. Thick Comics, because when he wrote to me, I think sometime last year about you know, because I write comic reviews and stuff like that in between everything, and like he hit me up, was like, you should do something like, you know, do like a interview thing, or like, I don't know, join the Comics Journal or something, right? And I kind of just took those words to heart and just kept going for it. So Tony, I'll be interviewing you very soon down the road. And
yeah. Well, me and the Lord, we got an understanding.
We're on a mission from God.
Shit. Half an hour later, here we are. Me, good pal, neighborhood friendly Dr.Ben. Here, gonna do a live stream. I don't have my normal co-host, Sam. Sam's not with me tonight, it's just me. So you'll have to make do, you know what I'm saying? But I did brought some champagne and beers. Brought that, keep me loose and ready to go. Straightening out the studio here, trying to a little bit better setup. I don't know how it works. But shit, let's just jump right into stuff. Saw this the other day, and I saw this. We all know who Don Simpson is, right? He's the fellow. Let me bring it back here a second. He's the fellow that did this Megaton Man, right? Megaton Man versus Savage Dragon. Savage Dragon is, of course, Eric Larson's creation at Image Comics. How many other books I got here? I got a few books from Don Simpson. Bizarre Heroes book. That's again his Megaton. He got kind of like an old, he goes for that like John Romita kind of look, I think, with some of this. He's got, I think I've read these, so there we go. Border Worlds, he did those too, some like old sci-fi comics by, here it is, Don Simpson. What else did he do? So that's what I'm saying, I'm not like Johnny Come Lately. This is DC's Wasteland comic. If any of you all seen these, an old book. This has got John Ostrander also in it. It's like a little anthology book. John Ostrander, William Mesner Loebs, Don Simpson, Lloyd, fellow that drew the B for Vendetta. Megaton Man versus Jim Valentino's Normal Man. That's what I'm saying. I've got in his I met him a few years back when I was working on the 1963 stuff, and come to sign this issue of for Dr.Ben, Don Simpson. I don't know how well that shows up. It's a silver. Sign this issue of the Comics Journal. This big wraparound cover for the Comics Journal. Got a whole bunch of. This is when Jim Shooter was on trial at for what? Jim Shooter was on trial for something or other. They were testifying about First Amendment stuff. Michael Fleischer against Fantagraphics and Gary Groth and Harlan Ellison. Not a big legal fan, but maybe we'll look at that sometime. But that's what I'm saying. He's a good, fun artist. That's not why we're here. That's not why we're here. I found this the other day. What do we got? Oh, let me go over to here. That's what this. If y'all remember all the tragedy with Mr. Piscore, Mr. Ed Piscore died April 1st, as we all know. And him and Don Simpson are both Pittsburgh. They both live down in Pittsburgh. And here we go. Let me add this on there. That work? Yeah. That's it. This was shared over on X by this Turketta fella. This is his the Don Simpson's Ed Piscore tribute. I'm not really quite sure how to take it. It's just this 2-page thing. I assume it's been on Facebook. Don has me blocked because of my association with Comicsgate being I bought the Cyberfrog comic Mr. Ethan Van Sciver, and that was too much for poor Don Simpson to be able to take. He is anti-frog, apparently, is what Don Simpson is. So he had me kicked out of the groups, canceled. So is this me trying to cancel Don Simpson back? Not really. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really care. I'm not going to really spend more money on him. I didn't buy his 1963 comic. But I don't hold him no ill will. You know, I just still there. Okay. Just bear with me, folks. Maybe I should put the phone in the back room too, in case it does. I'll do that just in case we have some kind of mishap or whatnot. Yeah. Okay. Put this back in here. That way the phone will stay on. Irregardless. Not that thing. No. Holy jeez, that was horrible. I'm sorry about that. I should have had the headphones plugged in on that, but just to make sure that we're all good and it's all saved here. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I looked at this tribute from the fellow there. I'm not really quite sure what to make of it, you know, like, I'll read it here, because that's what I'm saying. It's got, the sound's still coming out of here. What the frick? What did I do? Oh. What happens is I get that echo coming out of here that kind of messes up my, there we go. That's on, okay. Okay, so now, all right. But yeah, look, it's got Piscor there as, you know, in like a Jesus pose. What would you call that? I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really sure what you'd call that. Like transfiguration? I don't know. What is that? Is transfiguration, does that mean when Jesus died? Is that what that's supposed to mean? I don't know. You know, I don't get into these big words for all this stuff. But, you know, it's got him there, and it's got, I'll read his what he says here, right? Because that's what I'm saying. We might as well put it all on the floor, let everyone think about it. It's got Ed, and then these other characters are, what did he call his bizarre heroes? Right, yeah, so that's what's all on this book. All these characters are the ones he has on this page here. I couldn't tell you all their names. One of them maybe is named Fanny. I know there's Megaton Man, and then he made his own pastiches of the 1963 characters. They're all in this as well. So that's what I'm saying. It's an odd. It's like the one guy is like a stand-in for what like Spider-Man or something. There's one that looks like Alan Moore. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I'm really not quite sure what to make of it, you know. But we'll read through it nonetheless. That's something we might as well. I don't want people to think it's something it's not, or something that it's not that it is. I don't know. The X Amount of Comics presents an unexpected, unexpurgated exegesis, transfiguration, an improbable parable. I think Don likes to try and play with like puns or like rhymes or something. Improbable parable, is that? I don't know. We got Ed saying, starstruck now, little jobbers. Any master cartoonists asked you to be their muse lately? And these girls, I suppose they're supposed to be like Mary, two Marys or whatever, and so the other one Esther? I'm not sure. The figurative tradition in Western art goes back to ancient Greece, to Egypt. I could never model in the nude. I lost all of it. Oh, geez. Yeah, the StreamYard thing kicked out. You can't, for some reason, you can't share stuff on the whatchamacallit, the iPad or the iPhone. You have to use the this is why I wish I had freaking Peter here. Peter had a good computer to work all this stuff. Okay, I'm back there. Got it back up. Got it back together. Jesus. Again, Jesus. Oh, jeez. Okay. So what little guys are saying on here. Maybe, I'll tell you what, let me pull this out. Just a hair. Interwebs is, it is. Interwebs is hard. You're right. You're right, Mr. Self-Destruct. It is a lot. Holy jeez. Every time. Jesus. Maybe, oh, you know what? Turn the iPad's Wi-Fi off. I think that might be it. Once I turned on that. Every day we learn new things here at the, Well, and the other thing is, let me pull this up here.
I've got information, man. New shit has come to light.
New shit is always coming to light. Okay, so these guys over on the right, underneath his other arm, the dudes, they're saying, whither all his disciples? They lit out for the territories. All his detractors, too, crawled back into the woodwork. Ed Piskor had detractors? What? I guess. Is that what I'm supposed to be? Am I a detractor of Ed Piskor? No. I thought he was a good guy. He was another one had me blocked. Who knows why? What did I do? What? Every time I think about it, I think about when I met him years ago. I interviewed Jim Rugg, but I didn't get to interview Ed at the time. I had already interviewed Durf, the guy who did the My Friend Dahmer. Was that the name of the book? My Friend Dahmer. I interviewed him, and I interviewed Frankie Santoro. I interviewed Jimmy Rugg, all in Cleveland, right? And I think of walking in there, their music was blaring, the Genghis Khan, the little comic book convention up in Cleveland, Ohio. Music was blaring. It's just
cruising down the street in my 6'4", jocking the bitches, slapping the hoes. Went to the park to get the scoop. Knuckleheads out there cold shooting some hoops. A car pulls up, who can it be? Fresh El Camino rolling Kilo G. He rolled down his window and he started to say, it's all about making that GTA. Cause the boys in the hood are always hard. You come talking that trash, will pull your car. Knowing nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote me, boy, cause I ain't said shit. Yeah, the boys in the hood are always
Yeah. Grown men who sell comic books. Comic Shop Cocks of America. There's, of course, myself included. I make comic books. I've got. You want? I got the Relaunch comic. We got him for sale. We'll sell you a copy of those. I got. Not that. Got stickers. Women's stickers. We're going to sell those. Going to have those. Women will literally blank rather than get on a treadmill. Buy yourself some stickers. And have Heather Antos distribute them exclusively. Got my wait a second. I can't remember which one of these is the real one. I did two. Is this it? Yeah, this is the right one. From Hell's Fake News comic. We got those for sale all the time. $100 each. We'll go back to this this comic of Don Simpson's though. At the bottom he has more. There's too many words really for me, but you know, humor the fella. I hope everyone's mollified. Dude got doubly mollified. And it has another lady saying, who cut that? Who cut the promo? Fear and trembling, trial and tribulation. Oh, woe was me. What are a toxic masculine boys club brought to its knees by mean girl cafeteria gossip. High school girls need to be kept safe. A safe distance from the grown-ups, because they're fucking lethal. What the fuck is all this? That's what I'm saying. This is Don Simpson. I didn't even know he had it in him. Like, that's what I'm saying. Now I'm kind of like, I don't want to say I regret, but I didn't do anything to Don Simpson. Why did he was just mad because I'm in Comicsgate? Okay, buddy, whatever. So let's go to the top page. Can I zoom in on this? I don't think I figured out how to do that. Oh, geez. Hold on. There. I think if I go on this one, there. Yeah. This is make sure that's looking right over there. Yeah. Okay. What were you saying over here? Back. I've been back. I've always been here. Here, I read everything, Mr. Yes, I'm saying, Mr. Self-Destruct. Like, I don't comment on everything, but like I read everything. I see everything that goes on. No, all of it. Someone with sleight of hand skills could walk up to Anto's table and what? Could swap her anti-man stickers for the woman treadmill stickers. Where did I put that? Yeah, that would maybe I should put the file. I'll put the file for these in the Comicsgate. I'll put the file for that up on the Substack. You know, I don't think you have to subscribe necessarily to the Substack. I think you can just go and click on it. But you know. That's a good idea though. I mean disavow. Yeah, it's a no one should do that. That could make her mad, man. Oh, that's what I should pull up. Oh yeah, I'll see if I can find that in a minute here. Let's finish this thing though. That's what I'm saying, because she is a creep. Like she came out like her video for her anti-man sticker. She's like all cheery, happy, like like it was like she released the video. Ed died on the April 1st. And her video was like, what was it? What was on the 8th? It was like that next weekend was the Cleveland Fan Expo, where she was debuting her stickers. She's all like chipper. The men will literally blank rather than go to therapy. I'm like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? It's not the fucking time for your anti-man jokes, lady. Okay, so anyways, let's read this though. Are we sure this isn't an April Fool's joke? It looks like he's sleeping. Can you sleep your way to the top of the comics industry? Only if you're Rick Veitch. Rick Veitch, as you all know, is the guy with the Swamp Thing comic. I just shared that the other day. He's trying to get the Swamp Thing meets Jesus comic. Again, another reference to our Lord. Think about it, that's odd. Well, maybe Don Simpson is of the faith as well. Who knows? But Rick Veitch did his dream comic, Rare Bit Fiends, which was his dreams, just illustrated in comics form. He actually, now that I think about it, I could even show you that. He had me in one of them. I'm like a real comic book guy. Every time. I don't know what is going up with this, guys. There. It's a tough one. It was a tough one. This is interwebs is very hard. Horrible. Disconnecting, connecting, and I've got it plugged into the hardwire or whatever for the router. Like it goes from the router or a Cat 5 cable to whatever. I'm trying. I don't. It's just horrible. Okay. Let's finish this comic and get through it. Those skinny fingers shall draw no more, forever stilled. Never more to search the sacred scriptures. Pull it down a little bit. I gotta pull this belt. Why is it so hard? There. Shitty or floppy after 3 days, won't he? It's the end of an era. He's been canceled. With the rich, his tomb, although he had done no violence, neither was deceit in his mouth. Isaiah 53:9. This Sunday, and it is Sunday too. Behold, the slab has been cracked. He is arisen. A man cave? I don't know if you can see the thing because once I get my mouse over here to move this, I can't see that thing. Oh, geez. All right. Pull this up so I can see that. And then it's him saying, yo, MTV Rapture. What wonders have I yet to gaze upon? What is the grand design? I can't do Ed's voice. I don't know. Lead on, faithful pirate cap. It's like more like Stan Lee. I don't know. Hope Jimmy and Janice and Tupac and B.I.G. save me a spot. Why is this shit always continued next issue? Monster Eros, Don Simpson and Anton Drek. Now, for the viewers at home that don't know this already, Anton Drek, that's Don Simpson's sock puppet account for comics. For if he wants to make porno comics, he calls him Anton Drek. So that's his sock puppet account. Kind of like the dude we found this thing from, that Chiquetta. Maybe the Chiquetta guy, maybe that is Don Simpson. We don't know. We just don't know. It's not me. I know that. It's definitely not me. You suppose he's meeting Stan and Jack even as we speak? Oh, he's gone to that great bullpen in the sky. Who will become the next public enemy? Stay tuned. Not said. Yeah. So that is that's Dandy Don's comic there. Like I said, I'm not quite sure what to make of it. Oh, let me do this one instead. I just fucked that up. Jesus. I don't know. Like I try to just read things as they are myself. Oh, and he's got, look at, that's okay. That is the one thing. You know what? Fuck you, you fucking Pittsburgh Steelers fucking piece of shit. You got the terrible towel wrapped around Ed for his yeah, fuck the Steelers. That's my only take that I got, really. My only real problem there with Don Simpson, some kind of Steelers fan. I don't care if you're Steelers fan, because Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? Cleveland, Pittsburgh, you know, that's how we are. Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers, just gonna stay enemies till the end, you know. So I mean, never thought of Ed as an enemy. He's a good cartoonist, good drawer. He published my fan art of his comics. You know, but so what else? The thing that I had to cover this is because I just saw this, and then I'd been looking at this. This is Don's blog, right? The less said, the better. He's actually got like a whole bunch of blogs over here. Does it show you the whole address and whatnot? Oh, it just shows you the title. But yeah, this is him talking, saying F is for CKRS. Is that supposed to be like he's doing like you're supposed to pronounce it as a word, like suckers, like F is for suckers? No, it is for CKRS, stands for the fan group, Facebook of the Cartoonist Kayfabe show, which was Ed and Jim, right? And this is Don Simpson giving his opinions on different items in Cartoonist Kayfabe Ringside Seats group, right? That is they kicked me out of there because of the Comicsgate. We had done numerous fan fiction comics. You know, it was a bunch of people. Oh, what happened over up too? Oh no, that one's still going. Oh my Christ, what is it doing? Why? Why? Like that? Oh geez, okay. It's like the Wi-Fi went out. What the? Every day, folks, these computers. And see, that's the thing. I look at, man, I would not want to get one of them brain chips computers. You know what I'm saying? Like they update the firmware. They do this wrong. They do that wrong. Okay, maybe, yeah, we'll just leave that. Oh, Christ. It's horrible. Well, hopefully you guys are able to follow along here. Here, yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll do this. I'll copy the address for this in case you guys want to go read his blog post yourself. I should be able to. Hopefully that won't mess it all up. We'll find out. But yeah, he's got some rough words for the Cartoonist Kayfabe fan group. What does he call them? He says it's a concrete element of toxicity. Or no, this is when I wrote my. He says he wrote this last year. This is at the same time that he had gotten me kicked out of there and kicked off the 1963 project, which I've got that over here too. There it is. The How to Draw Comics in 1963 way, right? Now it's the Alan Moore project with Steve Bissett and Rick Veitch at. It was the first Alan Moore project at Image. It was a pastiche of 1960s Marvel, with characters that were all, you know, they created new characters that were like analogs of the Fantastic Four and Captain America and the Hulk and Spider-Man and everybody, all the Marvel Silver Age guys, right? But he talks about he was over in the fan group and they were arguing, and he did his own version of the 1963 stuff that was a pastiche of a pastiche. Like he created analog characters of the analog characters, which are all his things in his black and white thing that we just looked at. It's like deep nerd lore. So I mean, congratulations if you have managed to understand what any of this is, because I consider myself a fan and a nerd, and I can barely keep up with what even is going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But so he released his own thing of this with his own characters that were like these, and then the people in the fan group didn't like it and were arguing with him. And he says one moronic. He also really spells bad in his things here. One moronic had the temerity to lecture me on creators' rights. Turns out that such rights only apply to Alan Moore, and that Alan Moore apparently has unlimited rights to all over his collaborators. He argued that when one creates, or when one co-creates something with Alan Moore, one gets what one deserves. I replied that by the same logic, Alan got everything he deserved when he signed those Watchmen contracts. He was a big boy, and if he wasn't happy, that's just tough. Yet another person claimed my posts were not intelligent contributions to discussion. He also claimed I was a cyberbully for cajoling the contributors to get off their asses and finish their contributions and put the damn book out. He's talking about the 1963 fan book that we were working on with the other people that they kicked me off of. Those guys, they still haven't released their thing. They licensed the characters. Okay, all the characters in the 1963 series were split up, like copyright manner-wise, between Alan Moore and Steve Bissette. Apparently, Alan and Steve Bissette, the Swamp Thing artist, etc., Tyrant, the dinosaur comic, great guy. Don't get along. Whatever their reason, I don't understand. I don't care. I don't care. Whatever it is, two old guys arguing about comic. Like, there's not enough weed in the world that I could smoke to be able to sit and figure out what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, I could just smoke for days and listen to both of whatever it is, and I would still just be like, what? So someone's angry at the other one, and he did what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I love all their creations, from Hell, Watchmen, Swamp Thing, all these different Alan Moore books, Steve Bissette books, all these Don Simpson ones. I love all this stuff, but whatever their problems with all of each other is, I could not give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, Alan Moore and Don Simpson did a book called In Pictopia back in the 80s. And then they reprinted it. There was something with the rights and this and that. And eventually they got the right. They could reprint it. And Alan Moore insisted that they could only reprint it if his name was removed. Much as like Alan Moore did a bunch of Miracle Man stuff. Marvel has the rights to it now, and he's like, I don't want my name on your fucking comics, right? I guess I'd have to try and do my Alan Moore voice, which was muted this whole time. I'm just sitting here waving my arms. Woo! I don't want my fucking name on your fucking comic books. Keep fucking my name off of your fucking Miracle Man, Spider-Man, fucking love romance triangle books. Fuck them, I get that, definitely. And the same thing with his book with Don Simpson. He's like, he doesn't want his name on In Pictopia. He won't let him do a 1963 reprint. I don't know. I don't you know what I'm saying? Okay, whatever. So anyways, the people in the fan group arguing with Don Simpson, and he is saying that in sum, he found the group to consist of know-nothings, airing their own prejudices and preconceived ideas, and fairly indistinguishable from toxic Alan Moore fan groups on Reddit. See, that's probably his problem too, is that he's gone to Reddit. He reads things on Reddit. That's a mistake. Reddit is definitely, it's no good. They're people deleting, posting, arguing. I don't know. It's a mess over there. And he says the group's charter admonishes not to cut promos on creators and don't be a dick. Those clauses were actually enforced by the administrators. Several people would have to be removed for trashing my work without reading it. Indeed, even refusing to even look at it. Repeatedly lying about me, mischaracterizing my work, willfully misattributing statements to me, lying more about me, falsely accusing me of any number of crimes and more. Lying. Don Simpson, boss. These are not in any way, shape, or form fans of cartoonist kayfabe. They don't even aspire to the standards set by Jim Rugg and Ed Piskor, who bring massive thoughtfulness and historizing knowledge to their videos and discussion of comics and creators. To my knowledge, have never once trashed something they haven't read, or for that matter, even voiced a negative opinion about something they don't like. If they don't like it, they just don't talk about it. Unlike the morons who populate the so-called discussion group Ringside Seats, which apparently regards intelligent discussion as involving clueless morons voicing preconceived ideas about works they refuse to become in any way familiar with. I added on with, because I think that's what it's supposed to be. I don't know. The deeper problem, of course, is the toxicity of comic book culture, which has always been fannish and moronic and stupid in a multitude of ways, but seldom as malicious as it has become now. I can't imagine being a creator today in my 20s, attempting to break into comics. I can't imagine conceptualizing a comic book industry to break into. There's nothing out there. This is fantastic. That's what I'm saying. Like, I read all this and I was like, Don Simpson. All right, okay, whatever. I'm sorry you don't like Comicsgate, but you sound like you're basically Comicsgate, but you just don't like Trump. That's whatever. You don't have to like Trump to be in Comicsgate. You don't have to like Ethan Van Sciver to be in Comicsgate, buddy. You know, plenty of people in Comicsgate don't like keep my fucking name off your fucking comic books. I think Mr. Self-Destruct, you're a Englishman or a Scotsman or something, aren't you? I believe. Maybe not. I'm not trying to dox you. Maybe you're a German or French. We're an American. A citizen of the world. A fighter for freedom. I like the dramatic voice. Thank you. Yeah, so I did. I've done like, what do you call it? Books and stuff, narrated books and whatnot. But I only did one, and it was about a guy in love with a toaster oven. So it's kind of weird. It's that Dr.Ben. He read the book about the guy fucking a toaster oven. So I just put everything out. I don't even care. Fuck it. Okay. I can't imagine conceptualizing a comic book industry to break into. There's nothing out there. And even if one gets into print, either through a big company, a crowdfunder, or by indie self-publishing, there can never be a feeling of truly having broken in. There always has to be a persistent feeling of don't quit your day job, fella, simply because the revenue streams are never certain or assured. All these people can hope to contribute to any discussion of the art form is, I'm not going to read that X amount of his comic, his 1963 comic, because it's a hit job on Rick Veitch, which saves them $20. What incredible blank. What incredible swearing has been elided? Is that a word? What is elided? E-L-I-D-E-D? You guys? Oh, gee, what did I just do? Fuck. Okay. Texas. Texas. I was way off. Swamp. It's on the Samsonite. Yeah, I was way off. Elided? Is that a word? I don't know. Put that on there. Oh, push that. Okay. Texas. Samsonite. I was way off. The level of discussion on offer makes a middle school playground argument seem like a grad school seminar. This was my subjective impression as recorded on August 31st, 2003, exactly 6 months prior to the tragic events of April 1st, 2024. Admittedly, this was an intense, allergic reaction to a handful of individuals who, for me, spoiled the entire experience of a group. A few bad apples, as it were, but I certainly see why the group's namesake channel sought to distance themselves from it. Apparently, well, I played that on one of my things over here. When Ed was on the last time he was talking with Johnny Sunchips, John Sunchips, right? Up in Chi-Town, Chicago. Johnny was asking him about this the group, the fan group here, Ringside Seats. He's like, "Hey, you got a group of creators?" And Ed's like, no, you don't got nothing to do with that. Those guys are. No. I was like, whoa, okay. I didn't know any of this because, you know what I'm saying? Like, after they blocked me and kicked me out of there, I wasn't following none of that shit. I'm not like, but now this is like the news. This is the story. And it's weird because none of this stuff, all the stuff you see him talking about, doesn't cover any of this backstory. You know, this is like solid backstory that explains so much of what happened, or sort of does. I don't know. He's saying as a toxic fan group is basically what he's saying. This was the old banner, the misleading former banner. Well, I don't know how that's misleading. The banner just says cartoonist kayfabe ringside seats. I don't know if you can read that well or not, but needless to say, one reason I kept a journal in recent years is to let off steam rather than to post hot takes directly online. Sometimes it has worked and sometimes it hasn't. Flash forward 6 months later, one commenter on my Facebook page, whose comments and my replies he seems to have deleted, argued in April 2024 that Ed Piskor had somehow laid the groundwork for the social media pile-on in late March, in part by incurring the wrath of certain members of cartoonist kayfabe ringside seats. According to this person, Ed had suggested giving marching orders, was the commenter's phrase, to some members that they should create a fan fiction comic based on corporate-owned IP that they obviously didn't own and had subsequently distanced himself from the group because they had gotten out of control. So, I don't mean to laugh like at the tragedy. Oh, didn't you say something else in there? What was the see a lot of a sound or syllable of a sound or syllable omitted when speaking. Deleted. Thank you. How was that? What was it? Now I've even forgotten where it was at. It's in here. Yeah, it was like deleted. It's leaving out a sound or a syllable. Okay, like that. That's fun. I don't know what that means exactly. Still, I guess like not saying something that you're implying, maybe. I don't know. Apparently, such behavior was viewed as egotistical. Let me stress that since I was only briefly and am no longer a part of the group, I have no idea. Again, he missed no. I have no idea whether this was true, or I have idea whether this was true in whole or in part, or not at all. I replied with excerpts from my journal above and added that given my own wariness of the group, what was being described to me didn't sound like anything but a creator making a rational decision to disengage from something that had grown apart from the spirit of the kayfabe channel, and in any case had grown beyond something any sane person would want to be identified with. Further, I wrote, if a bunch of pathetic losers were waiting around for suggestions to invest their time creating fan fiction that they could never monetize, it was the most pathetic thing I had ever heard in my life. Perhaps they needed to get lives for themselves, or at least try their hand creating original material they would own, for better or worse, like Ed had done with his career. And since I had independently come to the conclusion the group was toxic, or at least a certain element within it, I certainly couldn't blame a busy professional creator with his own career to run for disowning it, distancing himself from it, disowning it, or otherwise ignoring it. Note again, since my original replies were deleted by the commenter along with his comments from my Facebook thread, I can only reconstruct and paraphrase my thoughts here. Needless to say, that individual unfriended me! Exclamation point. Like he has an exclamation. What? This is the same guy. I didn't know Don Simpson was even on Facebook, right? Because he had blocked me years and years ago. Never even knew he was on there. He had been in the group, apparently talking to all these people. I couldn't see me. I couldn't see him because he had blocked me. I don't. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. The fan. I think. I would imagine that they were talking up here. This him saying that Ed had earned the wrath of certain members. I think he's talking about the Death of Superman fan fiction that we created, but which I had been finished. The book was out, done like in the spring of 2023 last year, and they kicked me out of the group in the summer of 2023. So I didn't spend a lot of time, much time in there either. Like, it was definitely the place where if you mentioned anything about creators they didn't like, anyone in Comicsgate, like, remember, like, just talking about Dale Keown, you know, they'd flip the fuck out on you. Dale Keown's Comicsgate. I'm like, whoa, what? Who cares? You care? Dan Fraga. There's the whole thing with you know, they were definitely those people that were very angry about Comicsgate. Why? They were angry about Comicsgate, you know. So bizarre. Obviously, if you mentioned Ethan or said anything about that, it was the same thing. They're all screaming at you. And not a fun place. You can't really have discussions about comics if, like, half the people that make comics you can't even talk about. You talked about Graham Nolan, you know, hey, you remember those guys that invented fucking Bane? The guy that killed Batman or broke his back or whatever? Chuck Dixon? Graham Nolan? You know those guys? And they would freaking out. Oh, that was just, you know. Speaking of Chuck Dixon.
I'll tell you what, though. Do you have any rubber Chuck Dixon protectors?
Call the police.
Get the plug on the phone. Get the plug on the phone.
Don't call the police. Whatever you do, don't call the police. That means you don't dial 911. Don't call the police. Just chill out. That's all. Okay, so anyways. What else is he talking about in here? Since I am no longer privy to the group's activities, I have no idea what role, if any, this or any other. Is that? Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, just unfriended me. Oh, I have written elsewhere that having known Ed from before he ever broke into comics, I found him to be the least changed by fame of any successful individual in comics I have ever known. Although my exchange with the former Facebook friend is now lost to the ether, I wanted to record the interaction here for the record. Well, that's good. That's what we're doing here, too. You know, we want to make sure all this gets out there. I don't think anybody reads Don Simpson's blog. You know, maybe me. I don't read all of his stuff because it's why, you know, he tried to get me all canceled and everything. Every now and then I'll see somebody talking about it, or I'll see like this picture he did. I'll check in and see what he's saying. Since I'm no longer privy to the group's activities, I have no idea what role, if any, this or any other Facebook group or certain members of it played in the recent tragedy. I was merely going on the description of one commenter who claimed that Ed's deteriorating relationship with the group had somehow set the stage for what followed, which I consider categorical nonsense. Okay, so this is where we are going to take a little bit of a, how do I make this? I don't know, how do I make that big? Oh, maybe I just got to do that? No, that was not it. So I lost shit. How do I bring that back? There it is. Pay attention to that. He says this is I was reading this before, and this is why like I'm confused. Like you all know I'm not the brightest fella, you know what I'm saying? I can't figure out complicated things, head injuries, you know what I'm saying? I went to no 5th grade, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not the smartest fella. So I'm trying to figure out all these big words here, categorical nonsense. So he's saying that, you know, thinking that the group or whatever, Ed's deteriorating relationships with the group had somehow set the stage for what followed. Considers that categorical nonsense. Okay. In fact, I understand there have been several posts concerning Ed's passing linking to the Piskor family's Instagram and other fond remembrances. It's pretty clear in any case that a kind of pack mentality of toxic fans on that cut across groups and affiliations exists online, ready to tear down creators they feel they own and betrayed them. Kind of like all the people that go all fucking toxic on Comicsgate people. I wonder if he's can recognize this kind of. Let's keep going. If anyone held a grudge against Ed for a reason as silly as the ones proffered by my former Facebook friend and thought late March 2024 was the perfect occasion to get back at him, well, I hope they're pleased with the outcome. Seems like their grievances were rather trivial to me, and if their hissy axe grinding factored into the pile-on, it only adds a further layer of absurdity to this tragedy. Again, this is Don Simpson's words. Not toxic fans who feel they have ownership and control over creators because they've read a stack of comic books and liked a bunch of videos and posts are a growing problem, no doubt. The extent to which their free-ranging hostility may have contributed to the recent tragedy, I can't speak to. But reports like the one by my former Facebook friend are surely distressing. I'm an old guy, and I've learned to shut out most of this kind of negativity to a great extent. But creators younger than me don't have the armor. I hope people who want to grow old will also learn to shut it out whenever possible. One can only hope that groups like Cartoonist Kayfabe, Ringside Seats, whatever they may have been in the past or hope to become in the future, and online comics fandom in general, will turn its energies to service to be revered as a more positive influence. And this was the note for this where he said toxic fans that feel that they have ownership and control over creators because they've read a stack of comic books and liked a bunch of videos are a growing concern, no doubt. Asterisk reads historical note. Toxic fans and commentary have been with us since at least the AOL Comics plus Animation Forum, to which Peter David was a frequent and caustic contributor. That was enough for me. One could even go further back to the letters page of the Comics Buyer's Guide, to which I was an occasional, if vehement, contributor. Dr.Ben. Reading up here, up at this part, he says, this people, the fans deteriorating a relationship with his fans, somehow set the stage. He thinks is categorical nonsense. And then here he says that toxic fans are a growing problem and may have contributed to the problem. Oh, I don't know. This freaking guy. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I like that he definitely took some swings in there. So I mean, like, I haven't burned my copy of the Bizarre Heroes. Look, just sign it to me. For Dr.Ben, Donnie Simpson, 2021. Thanks, Don. Thanks for signing my books I bought from you. I don't understand anything about whatever you just said. Like I said, I'm not so smart, so. But I wanted to get all this on there because, like I said, he had been the fella that, when, whatchamacallit, got me kicked off the, I got it over here. I can kind of show you. Might be the easiest way to do it. Pull this thing up. Yeah. View the post. View the post. View the post. View the post. There it is. Yeah. Okay, so it's my Substack. This is back from last August 2023 when he was I got kicked out of there, and what was he saying in August? He was mad at the Cartoonist Kayfabe group, so like he got me kicked out, and then he also left the group too. It's a weirdo. Like that's what I don't understand. I was just like, wait, so you don't like them, but you also didn't want me to be okay, whatever. This was the direct message I had received from the editors, one of the editors from this project. Which was, like I said, it was licensed from Steve Bissett. We licensed his characters and then created other ones to be analogies or whatever, just like Don Simpson did with his 1963 thing. But we had half the original characters. Anyways, too much nerd stuff. So we had licensed it. We had actual, hey, Dr. Ben, I have been told you heard about the comments Don Simpson made in regards to being associated with Comicsgate and the giant size 1963 project. Per his request, we are going to remove your pages from the project. Rather than have you redraw or rework the story, William and I have made the decision and feel it best to remove you and your work from the project entirely. You are free to do what you want with the pages you completed from discretion. There they are. They're all in there. Download them, whatever. Print them out. Sell them yourself. Make a bootleg. Apparently, Dandy Don Simpson asked the editors to remove me and my work from the project due to my being associated with Comicsgate. This is what's called the blacklist. This is the way to dehumanize people, and it is unacceptable to label the whole collection of Comicsgate fans and creators with such false, divisive, and disrespectful terms. To keep perpetuating these blacklists of creators for their religious, moral, political, sexual, or any other beliefs which differentiates them from the mainstream comics industry is stupid, bigoted, and just plain ignorant. Ignorant. That's what it was. It's what it still is. And we even see some of that with people coming into Comicsgate, I've noticed, and they try to kind of do the same thing here. It'll be this person said it's Cecil. Did you hear what Cecil said? Cecil said that you shouldn't pick on Gary's wife and say that she looked like Mick's Piggy. So we got to kick him out. Cecil. Oh, Cecil. Now that people can't say that about Cecil, we do need to make fun of Gary. Comicsgate, you can talk about all this stuff. You don't get kicked out. Whatever, someone's got a problem, you fucking talk about it and figure it out. Or you don't talk to the people. Not all this fucking, you're removed from like sales lists. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if you're in the Marvel Comics thing. Like what's his face? The cocksucker down in Brazil or whatever from Hulk, right? The one that he drew the Jew thought sign or something. If he did that now, they'd be applauding him. They'd be applauding him and say, yes, stop the Zionists. It's so crazy. All their what's good this week is bad next week. What's bad last week, good this week. That's the mainstream, right? Comicsgate, you fucking talk it out, figure it out, move on. Or you don't talk about it and you still move on. It doesn't matter. We're just here to sell comics. To be clear, the editor talked to me in the spring of this year and had no problem with me being part of Comicsgate, which is also true. I did talk to the editor that spring. And they said they talked and they were okay with me being on the project, even though I was Comicsgate. And then, I should have had that lined up. I have a clip. Oh, that's the part at the beginning where Don says like hi to me or whatever. Nor did Dandy Don a few weeks ago when he encouraged me and the other creators on Twitter saying to shake a leg to get our giant size 1963 comic book printed, or when he greeted me during a recent virtual comic book panel, or when I have talked with him at a local comic convention and events. So yes, that was his X amount of comics. His book was called 1963. When else? This is his post from on Twitter. You guys better shake a leg and get that giant size 63 out. I said, giant size 1963 is so close. We've been shaking everything to get it done. It's a picture of Paul Newman and shaking the bush. Shaking the bush, boss. And then he had talked about me on his blog, right? Because I'd asked him if I could include his Megaton Man in the fan fiction. He was like, yeah, sure. Asked a few different guys. I also want to say that Dr.Ben Anthony, a contributor to Giant Size 63, contacted me about using a Megaton Man image for an Alterity sequence. He's crafting for that project, to which I readily agreed, and I've been in touch with Mr. Hoffnecht, that's the William referenced earlier, to let him know it's not my intention to step on his toes. I most certainly am stepping on his toes. I'll explain in a moment. So this is the other thing to realize too, right? Don Simpson's book, his what does he call it? X amount of comics, 1963, one else. It was printed through Fantagraphics, right? So we can just probably assume if I send anything to Fantagraphics, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say I send them a little relaunch manga. You know what happened to that? If they open it, right? I don't have to put like a different name on it. If they open it and they say, "Oh, Dr.Ben, gone," you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on the blacklist. Fantagraphics is the indie comics. It was the same home of Ed Piskor, so you can be guaranteed, right? You could bet on it. I'm not gonna say they did it for sure, but you could probably 99% chance. Whatever blacklist there is, Don Simpson and Ed Piskor, who blocked me, made sure to tell their publisher, Fantagraphics, hey, this fucking Dr.Ben guy, fuck him. Don't ever fucking publish nothing from that guy. You can be guaranteed. In Comicsgate, Fantagraphics calls you all kinds of bullshits. Okay, that you can be guaranteed of that. Prove me wrong otherwise. You know, and I've met Gary Groth before too. You know what I'm saying? I met him Brooklyn one time. Hey, Gary Groth, publisher of Fantagraphics. Gary Groth used to be that's what I should look up. Fucking Jim Steranko's assistant back in the fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Gary Groth, who started the Comics Journal. Let's see if Steranko is online yet. He'd be a guy, send him this, be like, hey, come on, Jimmy. Why is my phone's not even hooked up to Wi-Fi? Oh, he hasn't started. Jim Steranko does a TNT night on Sundays, meeting 10 p.m. I'll try and check in, see what old Jimmy Steranko's on. But he did the same thing. People would talk shit about Jim Steranko now. Why? Because he's a fucking conservative. That's it. Fucking legend, right? Fucking legend. Nick Fury, Captain America, countless posters, book covers. Anyways, Don Simpson's thing, after his blog where he mentions me, he then edited my name out. Like, he just takes it out and then added an addendum. Oh, okay. So his addendum was August 14th, 2023. The contributor to Giant Size 63, who had requested permission to use Megaton Man in his contribution, has since come out as a fire-breathing apologist for Comicsgate, a well-known right-wing hate group that likes to coyly pretend that it is not a right-wing hate group. And as I understand it, has been expelled from the Giant Size 63 project. This means I went from having next to nothing to do with Giant Size 63 to having nothing whatsoever to do with Giant Size 63, which suits me just fine, since I have no desire to be identified with every iteration of 1963 that comes along. It's something of a growth industry lately. To date, Giant Size 63 hasn't come out. Don Simpson. Fire breathing. That's what I'm saying. I was just like, what on earth? So all this all happened at around the same time in August of last year. All his stuff that he's referencing, all this nonsense. So goofy. So goofy. I should put that. That's what I should change my Twitter bio to that again. Fire breathing apologist for Comicsgate. I see. I thought he was calling me an it. I am not an it. I'm a doctor. Yeah, because he says, as I understand, it has been expelled from the Giant Size 63 project. You know, like it's calling me an it, like a they them, like an it. Like no, I'm a doctor. So these are some of the old pages. I think I changed them around a little bit. Is there anything else in here? Just some of the old pages? No, that was it. Yeah, I redid them a little bit when I did the my own version when I printed this and put it out. Yeah, they look a little bit better than that. That was still that was like work in process. I was like still finishing the colors. We did like a color process, or I did a color process because I just finished my pages on my own. Let me go back here. Yeah, I don't know how well that's gonna. Do I have? Hold on, maybe do I have? Son of a gun! Why don't I have it on there? If I try to, I can't. If I try to upload it, that'll ruin everything. That'll ruin everything if I try to upload a file. I guess what I could do is oh yeah, I could just do that. Yeah. Hold on. Okay. I know what to do. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna figure this out yet. Fire breathing. That's right. Did I share this? I did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My Substack, I put my stuff on here because Space Jam Agency. It's the fan one. That's not mine. That's like the one someone else had made back in the 90s. Where's the next one? All this stuff. There. Yeah, this is the one. I've talked about this a whole bunch. How to draw comics the 1963 way. It's my version I did. I think you can look at it just. I got to share this one instead. Okay. Doxing ourselves with the, yeah. Just go right there. You just click it. And then, yeah, look at that. There it is. And just click the buttons. Blah, blah, blah. Written, drawn, colored letter by Delirious Dr.Ben. Delirious. Brandon Graham let me use one of his things in here. He's already canceled. Martin Dunn, Martin Dunn claims that he would punch. He's another one like Mark Brooks. Martin Dunn. He said he'd punch the fuck out of Richard Meyer. Your boy Zach. He's like telling me this at my table, like, Comicsgate, if I see Richard Meyer, I'm like, yeah, chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out. He's like, it was a joke. Like, okay, you were joking. He's telling me all kinds of obscene things about Richard, your boy. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about all this, dude. Yeah, look, there's look who else. Lewis Carroll gave me permission to use Alice in here too. There's a little thing from Brandon Graham, Kevin Delgado's Tough Stuff. And this is my pages were all set to continue from the actual comics, like the part in the old 1963 comics. At the end of each issue was like a cliffhanger, and then the next issue would be a whole different story with different characters. So like all mine were kind of like set, like continuing from those cliffhangers. Let me try and get down to what happened after book 6. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like I just did all this. I don't know if I'm happy with it. There's stuff I would do different if I did it today, but at the time it was just like I just had to be done with it, you know. And so we were. It was done. Underground Fan Comics. Can't market it, can't sell it to nobody. You can download it for free and read it. I like this guy because comes in and he's like, "You're smoking He's like, "I'm smoking pages ripped from the future." You're smoking a comic book? Not just any comic. This is from 2023, and all of this has already happened in the comic. During the creation of like all these stories and the group and whatnot, like another fella found other stuff about these 1963 comics, the actual ones from Alan Moore and all those guys. It was like all this kind of like background story for that, where it was saying that like there was a time loop that came through in like 30-year intervals. So like 1963 at the end of the comics, they land in like 1990s in 1993, right? They go from 1963 and they travel through this stuff and they end up in 1993. And they were supposed to meet, the annual was supposed to be them meeting Spawn and Savage Dragon, all the Image characters that were out in 1993. Maybe Pitt. That would have been something, would have been fucking crazy. Pitt. And Alan Moore writing an issue of Pitt. Oh, man. Why not? If anything, do that. Dale, get on that, Dale. Like hit up Alan Moore. See, he'll draw write up a issue of Pitt for you. That's what I want to see. Alan Moore writing Pitt. But yeah, they were supposed to meet all the characters from the 90s, and you know, there's other comics that went out with this, or kind of continued the characters, but they weren't written by Alan Moore. I think it was like Jim Valentino did an issue of Shadowhawk with the 1963 characters, and the guys that did Big Bang Comics. I think it's like Gary Carlson. I'm not sure. I'm not real sure on the Big Bang thing. I didn't really get into that. You're in my head. See, I think I would change his eyes a little bit. Maybe I'd do like some kind of like, I don't know what I would do. Something. I would do his eyes a little bit different. But I like him here. I like the way his eyes look there. The big dinosaur guy. He's like a psychic dinosaur. Yeah, there's all this stuff with like falling through different dimensions. There's a Ben Perkins character. Heavy the horse. He's like a cyborg horse that goes through different realities. He's got some cool comics out with him. You know what I'm saying? If these guys are pissed that I'm like talking about their comics, let them be pissed. I don't care. Like the one dude I was working with was like, you know, I don't know if you'd say a contract, but you know, he was giving me money to draw on comic pages. He got all pissed. He won't talk to me anymore. I can't believe you're in Comicsgate. Be pissed. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna like not say what I think. I'm not gonna like not talk about like if it's whoever I'm voting for. Maybe I'm voting for Joe Stein. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna be worried that someone's not gonna like that and get pissed. Not voting for Jill Stein. Nobody votes for Jill Stein. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in this, I collaged some of the pages from the old comic and my stuff. You know, did all kinds of fun stuff. But you know, just a few pages. These are my guys I made that are kind of like the Fantastic Four. So I can't remember what I named him or her. I want to say I called her like Bathtub Jenny. I was going to have like a big bathtub that she lived in at her headquarters. And this guy's Planet Todd. He's just a big planet that floats around, or well, like a little planet. And they call him the Quantum Quattro. Yeah, but I tried to tie it all into like the stuff, this and that. And at the end, though, it gets weird. All the people all turned on me. All turned on me. I tried to do some like kind of jokes. Is it here? Yeah. The red guy, that's N-Man, right? That's one of the characters that Steve Bissette has, as is this guy. He's the Hypernaut, and this guy is the Fury. That guy in the back, I made up him, Moriarty. Well, I kind of wanted him to be like Moriarty, like from like Sherlock Holmes. I think that'd be fun. So this energy anomaly is emanating from that strange building. The red guy, N-Man, he was supposed to be kind of like the Hulk, like their version of the Hulk, but like a little bit, almost like the Smart Hulk, but almost kind of like the Thing too. Why is this place the only thing standing? It must be where Electrotine is. Well, don't you think too hard there, Einstein. I love calling people Einstein. I think that's just funny. It seems like something they'd be saying back in the 60s, maybe. And I used this guy. What did I call him? Oh, fuck. What did I just do? I called him R3K. Like he's like Robin Hood from the year 3000. And this black and white like photo there that he's in front of is it's an old like authentic photo of the comic shop that used to be in my town, right? Like Funk City News. It's closed now. Something else is there in the building, but it was a legitimate like little newsstand or coffee counter or whatever. That's where I bought all my first comics. Or well, actually, my first comics I bought the Rite Aid, but where I got all my Image comics was from here, definitely. That's where I got Spawn and Cyberforce, Youngblood, Prophet, all the weird indie comics I used to get. The Tyrant, the dinosaur one. That's where I tried to order from hell. They wouldn't let me order from hell. Poor little Dr.Ben couldn't order from hell. Yeah. Planet Todd. This guy's a fake. Guys, it's cool. This is R3K. He's from the future. Year 3063. This was in the that Eli Schwab, the guy that was the admin of the group, kayfabe group there, that Don Simpson was so angry about. He also released a book called Wizard. It was like a magazine, a comics magazine. Wizard with an E instead of ARD, so WIZERD. I was in these 2 pages in there, and the interview I did with Pat Alicio. And it's like in the future, banks are out, comic book shops, and cash has been replaced by copies of Spawn 8, Spawn 9. You have to go to a comic shop. There's no more banks. The bizarro future of 2020, you go into the comic book shop. That's where the bank is now. You go into the comic book shop, you got a copy of Spawn 8, a copy of Spawn 9. It's not enough. It's not enough. 1 can of pop is a copy of Spawn 8 and 2 Spawn 9s. If you only have 1 copy of each, you're not going to have enough. You need to bring a dozen. Bring a dozen. And it's just copies of Spawn 8 and Spawn 9. Like there's not other comics. Other comics are like they're not what the money is. They're measured in numbers of Spawn 8 and Spawn 9. So like Action Comics 1, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if that's still like the most expensive comic out. It's definitely a big one. It was like $1 million, $2 million for Action Comics 1, the original in 2020. That'd be like you'd need 1 million Spawn 8s and 1 million Spawn 9s in order to get Action Comics 1. Does that make sense? It was like a commercial break in the comic. Something changed when Warbeast woke from his slumber. Warbeast, that's that dinosaur. He's a psychic dinosaur. He never went back to sleep. Look, they think that he's just an old comic book monster. If you're reading this, you need to wake up. Warbeast is real. He's holding a copy of 1963. I should have brought... Oh, geez, is it? I have it here. I don't even know if I have... See, I should have made sure I had the 1963 books up here. I didn't even think about it. I don't think I do. Do not. The second issue has the Fury, and he fights this giant psychic dinosaur, Warbeast. Still waiting on my freaking t-shirts, because my t-shirt guy is got a new place. He's fucking... He did, for real. Like, he got a new place to set up his screen print and stuff. So he hasn't been doing screen printing. Yeah, you know, it's been a complicated time, you know. I didn't want to, like, just go out and order a bunch of t-shirts, not have a pre-order, you know. You gotta mess with the design a little bit too. I don't like how that looks. But yeah, so this is what happens. You know, you make comic books, you want a bigger bowel movement, you send $2, DIY instructions. Just put that little pipe. What you do, you know, you got small bowel movements, you want to have a bigger one, get the attachment there, and then you can put anything in there. You know what I'm saying? You put in empty trash, put it in there, mixes it all up into your small intestine, your bigger bowel movements. Fantastic. Oh, and this is the comic they're not going to print at Fantagraphics. They're not going to print Relaunch. You know, they're not going to print stories about the Tartarian Empire. Fantagraphics, Gary Groth is afraid of the Tartarian Empire because in the Tartarian Empire, we have learned history is a lie. Palaces, the fortresses, all the different things like that we see, them, you know, giant old architectural marvels. Sometimes they say they were built in the 1800s. They were not. We found them when we got to Chicago, when we got to San Francisco. The buildings were there already. Prior race, prior civilization. The Tartarian Empire was there. You only find this out if you question the mainstream narrative. What happened was there was a flood of mud, a mud flood, radioactive mud, destroyed the old empire, the Tartarian Empire. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You can get your own copy. You can read it. You can read it online. Look at that. Isn't that simple? I'll leave it there. Questioning the mainstream narrative. How does that look on this side? It's okay, I guess. All right. I don't know. So that's all I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to go too long. That's still you hang out there. I don't want to keep you all night. You know, it's getting late, getting dark out. I tried to use a different lighting situation because the lights above kind of make a big lens flare over here, and I'm in the middle of reorganizing the old the old studio. You know, the studio. Here, this one's stuff. So yeah, go over DrBen.substack. If you're not subscribed, go over there, subscribe, or just check out the stuff. There's a whole bunch of different stuff about that Swamp Thing business. That's Rick Veitch. He was in the 1963 book. Rick Veitch worked with Alan Moore, right, on Swamp Thing. And then after Alan moved on to whatever he did after that, Rick Veitch took over writing and drawing. He also had, who else was with him? I think John Tolban stayed on for a bit too. Maybe Bissett. I can't remember. Fredo Alcala was the other guy with him on Swamp Thing. And his last book was not his last book, but his story was, he got to the 80s. I think Alan Moore left in the 50s or 60s. Veitch did the rest of them. He got up to issue 87, and the next one was going to be this time-traveling Swamp Thing. Goes back and ends up being the cross that Jesus is crucified on. And as we discussed, that's over on the Phantom Pulse with my good buddy JDA, John Della Rose. Shout out to fucking JDA, comic book writer and the lead editor for Phantom Pulse. So I don't know. It's a talks about it over here. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I do all this stuff. In 89, that's what I was going to say, was in 89 was the Batman movie, and there was like this fan protest. Look at that. It has recently been announced that the actor Michael Keaton has been chosen to play the Batman in the big budget film being directed by Tim Beetlejuice Burton for release in 1989, the 50th anniversary of the Batman. If the producers of this movie are truly committed to leaving the camp image of the 60s TV show, wait, I have this shared, right? Yeah, okay, sorry. That's what I'm saying. I got to figure out, if I'm going to hook it up to this TV, I don't know. I got to figure out different stuff with the studio business. If the producers are truly committed to leaving the camp image of the 60s TV show behind and presenting to the world the definitive Dark Knight, the definitive Dark Knight detective, they can't allow Michael Keaton to play this role. Don't get me wrong. Keaton is a fine comedy actor who has done exemplary work in the past in such films as Beetlejuice, Mr. Mom, Night Shift, etc. But he's definitely not the sort of imposing figure needed to define the ultimate creature of the night, the Batman. Help us to stop this ridiculous decision before filming starts in September of 88. September of 88. Sign this petition below, and let's bring the folks at Warner Brothers Films to their senses. And then I didn't want to dox, but you can find, like, there's a couple actually different versions of this, a couple different petitions. We, the underside, strongly insist that the decision to cast Michael Keaton as the Batman is a major mistake and must be reversed before filming starts on Batman the movie. But so yeah, that was going on, and so rather than like having like potentially protests from like Christian groups, I would imagine, about Swamp Thing meeting Jesus, some people would consider that blasphemous. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Reading the story didn't really look like it was. So, I figure like I'll give Rick Veitch a shout out. If people in the kayfabe group were thinking that Don Simpson's book was like a kick in the balls to Rick Veitch, they're like, no, I want to make sure I give Rick Veitch some shout outs. Like I said, he's got me issue number 25, Rarebit Fiends, on you can get it on Amazon. It's got my little 2-page comic in there. I think that might be on one of my other things too. I don't know. But yeah, there's an email. If you think they should publish it, he's trying to get it published. It wasn't published at the time, and he quit. They were like, you got to change it. And he was just like, fuck you, I'm out. And Doug Wheeler took over a few months later. There was no Swamp Thing comics for a few months while they... and that was one of the things too, was that they asked Neil Gaiman and Peter Milligan if they would write Swamp Thing, since Rick Veitch suddenly quit or whatever. And Neil Gaiman and Peter Milligan were both like, no, we're sticking by our buddy here. We're not going to be scabs. I don't know. I like the cover. I don't know if it'd be good in green or if it'd look better if it was like a black and white. See, it does have, and see, that's the thing. The cover doesn't have, it looks like if that's the 3 crosses that Jesus and the 2 thieves were on, it looks like Jesus is already on there. So even this image isn't really, it's just Swamp Thing in front of Jesus and the other guys. I don't know. Oh, and I started in Ripperologist magazine. I think I put a thing on there too. Did I put that on did I put it on here? I thought I did. Oh shit, maybe I didn't. Son of a gun. Okay, well see, I got to update my whatchamacallit, I got to update my Substack. I never wrote about the Ripperologist magazine. I'm in the new Ripperologist magazine. I got a comic strip in there. And I have, unless they cancel me for being in Comicsgate, which I don't think they will, but who knows? Who knows? If that's what it is, I'm not gonna, oh geez, shit's breaking. You know how things go here. I don't get too worked up about it, but what can I say? Like I said, I'm not gonna be dissuaded from being a fire-breathing apologist. Comicsgate, remain that, despite the calls for me to abandon the ship. I refuse. Be there going down as it sinks below the waves, rearranging the chairs, the comics industry as it crashes into the ground. That'll be me. I think that was kind of I think I did a good Alan Moore voice. Maybe not the best one, but Tartaria was king. That's right. That's what I'm saying. I could actually be. We discovered on that one episode with Rob Hunter that he's 238 years old. So I've never revealed my age, so you never know. Well, I'll let us all go here. I gotta stretch my legs a little bit and do some combustibles and whatnot. I'll play us out. I'll play a couple things out for us. Yeah, I'll do that. Not that one. Yeah, because look,
I've got information, man. New shit has come to light.
I got put a couple new things on here for us. I'll just play us a song. I'll play, what's his fate? This is Puma Thurman. Yeah, my buddy Nicky.
Giant size, 1963.
Has been indefinitely postponed. We simply cannot guarantee
Dr.Ben here.
Got interference. Call the OP.
Now, you fellas have said some pretty mean things, some of which were true. Under that fiend,
Boss Hoffnecht, Taylor Mitchell. You know, they're both gossip hounds and negative Nancy's. But on the other hand, they have a tremendous singing voice. But they're out of the picture now. That leaves me in charge. Now, I can be theatrical and maybe even a little rough. Some say I breathe fire. But one thing I am not is a killer. I am a cartoonist. I love a good party. So truce. Commence au festival. And I've got a surprise for comics. At midnight, I will release my 1963 comics for free to read and download, or even to watch them on the internet. Don't worry about me. I've got enough.
We are not prepared to discuss any deals.
You heard it, folks. My 1963 comics. And there will be entertainment. The big Dukaroo, with me in one corner, and in the other corner, the man who has brought real terror to comics. Don Simpson. Can you hear me? Just the two of us, mano a mano. I have taken off my makeup. Let's see if you can take off yours.
Christian murder scum that from giant death factories keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. Literally come out from under rocks. They have green colored skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy with sick stuff, man. She sleeps in that same